Gotta be true to yourself. In a world there's nothing else. Gotta play the game right, gotta make your path. You scratch, you dig, you laying your ground, you busting your rounds. Nobody gon' stop you. No ops, no cops, everything about you looking good, you good, she good. Y'all people really wanna know the reason. It's that ripple effect. That's just that ripple. That's just that ripple effect. What you do, come back, triple.
What's going on? It's your girl Kid out back in Ripple Effect. You already know what it is, and you already know the vibe. Shout out to all the supporters, all the day ones. Y'all are the best. Y'all already know. Can't thank y'all enough for everything that you guys do. Check out the store on Etsy. That's the Ripple Effect WK. All scraps, no space. Made it super easy. It's the holidays. Get it going. Just check it out. See, you know, put a friend on. You know, see what's up. Make sure you like, listen, and subscribe. And we got to get right into it. There's a few other things I wanted to discuss. You saw I put up some content earlier, you know, talking about the whole Deshaun Watson situation. And I know a lot of people are like, man, he's out with a shoulder injury for the season. But even the way he's been playing didn't really matter because the defense was taking over. And that's why I was talking about Myles Garrett being in that MVP conversation and such. But I have NBA League Pass, right? I hope you guys have it too. If you don't, go out and get it. It's money. I don't know if it's because of the in-season tournament. I don't know what's been going on, but you know we gotta talk about this Draymond situation. You know we gotta talk about it. Gotta talk about it. I felt like we already talked about the Draymond situation. I'm not talking about the one with Donovan Mitchell and how we were going. I'm not even talking about it. It's a whole new one, y'all. And if you didn't see it, pause this. Take like the 2 minutes, you know, to not only watch it, because I know it's only gonna be watching like a couple seconds of it, you know, gather your thoughts and then, you know, put this back on so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. But I'm gonna try to, you know, explain it to you the best way I can. A few things. I know a lot of people are asking me my opinion about it, and you're either gonna be for it or against it, you know, but it is what it is. It's my opinion, right? So it started off with Clay and McDaniels. Like that's how it started. You know, it was like tussling back and forth. And then all of a sudden you saw Rudy Gobert try to hold Clay back. Now, I'm gonna say it like that, right? For a reason. And then Draymond was like, nah. Puts Rudy Gobert in a chokehold. I mean like in a chokehold. And then that wasn't the most egregious part. The part that was crazy was the drag. And that it took like 5 other people, assistant coaches, other people to try to, you know, CAD from the other team to try to get him off. Which he eventually did, you know. Just to kind of speed it up a bit. Clay gets ejected. McDaniels gets ejected. And of course, Draymond choke and drag and get off, Draymond, you know. Rudy Gobert tapping out, like can't breathe, like that. I mean, if you saw, I mean, like I said, pause this and go watch it because you have to see it. I mean, I don't want to make too much light of it, but it was funny though. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat that. It was definitely funny, but at the same time, it's like, really, Draymond, like really, and then it's pushing all these different narratives out here. That well, Rudy Gobert was saying, you know, you just didn't want to play, you know, because your man Steph wasn't playing. And it's crazy because it's like, excuse me, if I'm Rudy, I'm probably not saying much of anything. I'm just, you know, you just gotta, your time will come. You just gotta sit back, relax, don't overreact, don't, you know, because it already happened. You didn't do much about it after that. You just took it on the chin and you was just like, well, you took it in the throat. Oh, pause, well. Point is, nothing else happened after that. Y'all went on, you know, everybody went their separate ways. They, you know, they served the, you know, they stayed out of the game. And that was it. So, nothing else needs to be said, bro. Like, I mean, if something is gonna be done like later on, and I'm not at all condoning, you shouldn't. But I'm just saying everything should just be quiet, because after that it's just premeditated, right? So it's like, just leave that alone. Now, the reason why I said it the way I initially said it, because if you didn't see it, I didn't want you to already draw these conclusions in your head. You know, I'm a very firm believer in making sure you get all your information before you jump to the conclusions. Even if you're not the first person, it's all good. Like, I'm not the first person talking about this today. Like, everybody started talking about it. Some people were really talking about it, last night, and I didn't want to be that early. I didn't want to be that thirsty. I could have been, because I was watching it. I was watching a couple of games last night, but I saw that. At first, I was like, what is going on? I'm like, did y'all even score yet? Like, I'm watching multiple games at this point. And it was really important because I wanted to hear from Rudy Gobert. And I knew he was going to say something. I don't know why he would say something after that. I personally wouldn't have. You just got to, you took the L, bro. Just take the L and just figure it out later on. Let it work itself out. But, okay. I'm assuming you guys already paused it and got caught up. So I'm just going to get right into it. I think Rudy Gobert should have been tossed too. I get why you didn't, because it's like, I think he suffered enough. Maybe that's what the refs were thinking. Maybe he doesn't need to get choked out and tossed out the game at the same time. That's wrong. That's wrong. But I'm just saying, or let this just be a lesson. I'm just gonna say it like this, right? A lot of people like myself don't have, you can say, the professional experience of being out there, between those lines, and when things happen, I can't speak from that perspective, but I will speak from a life perspective. If you're with your group and there's another group, one person from your group and another person from the other group gets into it. Doesn't look too crazy. It looks pretty evenly matched, right? So, because if you notice, at first nobody got involved. And again, we're talking about the, Clay, the initial scuffle. But then if somebody else from the other side comes over to my group and then tries to break up whatever was going on, but they choose not to hold the person from their group back. In a way, they choose to hold the person from my group back. I mean that part's a little sus to me. And then the way in which he did it. So if you did watch it, now, did you see someone get in the middle and just kind of, or did you see something a little kind of with Draymond? With maybe that's what he was trying to do, but Draymond just did it better. That was my interpretation of it. Now, some people may say otherwise. Some people may say, no, he was trying to break the fight up. But if you're trying to break the fight up, why wouldn't you grab your teammate? And what is with people, like, I'm not trying to say you're supposed to have so much experience in this area, but if you're going to break up a fight, break up the fight. Get in the middle and break it up. Now, I'm not advocating for it, because you probably shouldn't, because you're probably putting yourself in harm's way. And you are putting yourself in harm's way. But at least it's more even, right? Because now you probably, but if you coming behind someone, just think about that. Like, you coming behind someone trying to drag them away, you leaving me open to get knocked out. What? Like, I can't even defend myself at this point, because you're coming from behind me. Like, since when is that breaking something up? Like, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So if that's what you were trying to do, I mean, somebody else said it best. I mean, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, right? I mean, now here's where I think Draymond was wrong. Now, of course, I know a lot of people are saying, of course, that had to be Draymond, right? But that's his role. Like, imagine. But what's funny? Imagine the backlash if Draymond did nothing. And maybe that situation got worse for Clay, because Clay already had, like, the torn jersey and all that. So I'm just, like, imagine, right? Like, the backlash from that. And Draymond is supposed to be this guy, and everybody's well aware of his antics. I mean, he stepped on Sabonis' chest last year in the playoffs. I mean, come on. I mean, just the other day with Donovan Mitchell, he's not new to this. I told you the other day, $1.4 million in fines. And I told y'all what to do with that money, right? But watch the other episode if you don't know what I'm talking about. But it's like, Draymond gonna Draymond. Like, you can't. It's like you can't have it both ways. I mean, but like I said, the point is where he did cross the line was the drag. Like, him just trying to get in the, him seeing, because remember, you got to look at it from his angle. Draymond's not necessarily on the other side where he can actually see maybe potentially what's going on. And I get it. He doesn't like Rudy Gobert. So was that probably an opportunity? Like, I know that a lot of people are saying that he probably used, you know, to probably just say, oh, I don't like this guy, so this is perfect opportunity. Maybe. But at the same time, if you're watching from the angle that Draymond was watching at, and like I said, if you didn't watch it like 100 times like I did, maybe you may not understand what I'm talking about. But like I said, just watch it again and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's only a couple seconds, so if you keep watching over and over again, it's only going to add up to like 5 minutes. But at least you'll get kind of a clear picture of, you know, exactly what I'm trying to say, or at least, you know, come to a full, you know, thought. And if your opinion differs from mine, it differs. It's no big deal. But from the way I saw it, it's like Draymond's like, is Rudy Gobert trying to put Clay in a headlock? And remember, this is in real time, so that reaction time was instantaneous. It wasn't no like I got time to sit here, you know, temperatures are, you know, it's already a heated thing. These teams don't necessarily like each other, so it's like you got to keep all that in mind. And I know a lot of people don't really think that certain things carry over from game to game, but they do. Teams remember. They, you know, they circle it on the calendar, like everybody always says. Like, it's just true. They do. They know what teams they got to get up for, and other teams not so much. And I do understand why Draymond did what he did. Now, the drag, and then having people to have to reel you in to kind of like snap back into reality and let go of this guy's neck before you put him to sleep type thing, like, that's where it crosses the line. And we can get into how many suspensions is he gonna get, because they're trying to figure that all out, but they're trying to take their time with it, because, you know, they're gonna do interviews, you know, with players, and they want to make sure that all sides are heard. They want to, you know, have the video. They want to have as much evidence, you know, they're gonna take their time with it, but they will have an answer for you by tomorrow. I know that much. And I'm gonna comment about that to see, you know, if it falls into the range that I'm thinking. Now, I'm thinking at least 10 to 15. I know a lot of people, you know, that's probably understands Draymond. Is probably gonna say that's ridiculous. How is that possible? What are you basing this off of? I mean, you base it. If I say 10 to 15 games, I'm basing that off history. And I already explained to you his history, right? The man has had excessive flagrant fouls, technical fouls, you know, suspensions, you name it. Draymond Green, he's got it when it comes to these moments. And whether you think it's, you know, it's warranted or not, you can't think that this is good for the league. It, in a sense, is good that he stuck up for his teammate, but taking it to a point where you gotta be reeled in. Like, I would have had no problem if he just said, get off my teammate, and then kind of just dropped it and just let it be. But I felt like it was dragged out and it was made to be all about, like, we kind of forgot about McDaniels and Clay, because once Rudy Gobert and Draymond was getting into it, I mean, Clay and McDaniels were still engaged. Like, people were still trying to hold them back. But obviously, you're more worried about Draymond in that case. But then it was all about him, right? So that's why I'm saying, like, at least 10 to 15 games, because you can't have that. And you kind of, and at some point you gotta kind of say, I know Draymond came out with the huge, you know, that long tweet about how I'm gonna be Draymond. You can't teach me how to be Draymond, and everybody's mediocre and this and that. And it's like, yeah, okay, but at the same time, it's like, You still got to be accountable for your actions. You still got to grow up at some point. You still got to realize when right is right and wrong is wrong. Now, again, I have to stress this for the people in the back. Don't get me wrong. I have zero issue with Draymond sticking up for Clay. Zero. If anything, I liked it. But I'm got another point to make about that. But at the same time, it's like, but once your job is already done, you gotta know when to stop. And I think that's part of Draymond's problem. He doesn't know when to stop. And that's what makes me believe that you were trying to get it thrown out of that game. Because it wasn't, it's almost like, is this really about Clay at this point? Because you forgot about Clay is still engaged with whatchamacallit, But I mean, well, I guess I can surmise out of that maybe, because, all right, Draymond technically didn't get involved when it was just Clay and McDaniels, right? So maybe he was like, okay, it wasn't about them anymore because it's just them two. But once Rudy got involved and his arm came across the shoulder, wasn't really sure where you were going with that. You're not a seatbelt. What are you doing? Like that's a bit much, and I can see that. But a lot of people are commenting about why Cat never got involved, or for that matter, anybody on the Timberwolves did not come to Rudy Gobert's rescue like that. I mean, you saw Cat try to calm Draymond down, but it's like, bro, people already kind of gave you that reputation of being soft, and it's like, I hate to say that because I like Cat. I like his game. I like what he's about, and it's like I kind of hate that kind of thing where it's like everybody expects you to just be like Draymond in a sense. So it's like, all right, so it's like people have no middle. It's like either you like Draymond or you soft, and it's like, come on, man, like that's weak too. I don't really like that, but at the same time, bro, like you gotta ride for your teammate in that moment, and none of y'all stood up for him. That's crazy. That's crazy. So moving forward, it's gonna be interesting to see when teams are really battling, and those games are close, and those fouls are gonna matter. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's gonna be really interesting to see what happens with that team going forward, because that's pretty wild, man. That's like you going out with people that you think that have your back, man, and you getting choked out, and ain't nobody. Except for like one person that's pretty much like talking to the other person, and you over here get choked out. I'm like, I don't think talking is gonna do. I think we a little past, pleasantries, exchanging of pleasantries. I don't think we at that point anymore. I don't think that's a little done. But that's pretty wild. But I'm not gonna lie. This in-season tournament is lit though. I mean, even when you see, Anthony Davis stepping up the way he did, and and Desmond Bain getting in the way, and I love D'Angelo Russell, how you gave him that bump and but that's the way you get in the middle with something, and then you grab your teammate. Like, there you go, D-Lo. You show him how it's done. Like, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. Actually, you know what? I just thought about something. Maybe Rudy Gobert didn't go for his teammate because he don't rock with his teammates like that. Maybe that's why he didn't. Maybe he went for Clay because he figured maybe Clay would kind of understand that, okay, he's just trying to break it up. He's not trying to, cause me no harm, or trying to, let, McDaniels get free shots in. Maybe he really is trying to do the right thing, And maybe if I grab McDaniels, even though we're on the same team, maybe he, probably would have felt some type of way. All speculation. I'm just trying to understand in that situation why you wouldn't grab your own teammate. You know what I mean? Especially, I don't know, because the only special circumstances where I can see when other guys don't is because obviously they have that relationship off the court. Like, I can remember a few times, even when CP3, right? Because I know a lot of people were talking about CP3 not getting involved, and man, this man is just trying to win a ring and be done. Like, you think he came to Golden State to fight, bro? Like, that's the last place you go to fight. No. And he's already been in a situation like that. So, You're an older player. You know your role. You just trying to win a ring, and you know you're on your way out, and you're about to get caught up into something that could be, not only deemed as detrimental to the league. There's the in-season tournament. Adam Silver wants this to go well, and I don't know. And you know what I mean? He used to be the president of the players association. When it comes to the union and everything, I don't know. I just know he probably didn't want it. He knew what it's like, or he knows what it's like to be on the other end of that, and he wasn't about that. And I don't blame him not one bit. But the point is, when he was in the middle of his situation, literally, I believe it was with Rondo. Yeah, with Rondo. That situation was crazy. LeBron went after him, and him and LeBron were not on the same team. But you know how tight their relationship is, and I believe Bronny is CP3's godfather. So this is way beyond basketball, and LeBron James did not want anything else to happen. You know what I mean? That the situation was already pretty bad, and did not want that to escalate. So I'm just trying to recall other situations where you can see somebody from the other team go after the other player, and it kind of, you know what I mean? And as far as I know, Rudy Gobert and Clay don't have that relationship, so it, like I said, it just doesn't make any sense to me. So when someone tries to explain that side of it, they were trying to break it. He was just trying to break it up. That's why he didn't get ejected, and that's why he was allowed to stay in the game. And I like I said, I watched the video a couple times. I saw the last game that they were involved in, which was just the other day. This was brewing. It was definitely brewing, and that's even another reason why you would make sure that you don't put your hands on the opposing team, just based off of how it could be misconstrued, especially if that's on Draymond's team, and he got something out for you. You already know it. It's almost like I'm not gonna say Draymond went into the game thinking that this was gonna happen, but I'm pretty sure somebody knew it was a possibility. Now, did we guess that no points would be scored at this point? No, can't say. We thought it would be more third quarter, fourth quarter, when they're going back and forth and things are getting heated, and every bucket matters, possession matters. You can kind of see the heat of the moment type thing. But this was a little crazy. This was definitely different, and I can't wait to see what they're gonna say. But I have a feeling it's gonna be between those 10 and 15 games. I really do. And whether you think I agree with it, it doesn't matter whether I agree with it or not. Honestly, it doesn't. But if I'm looking at it from a league standpoint, it makes sense why it would be. Because like I said, there has to be some type of deterrent. There has to be. And I know, Draymond obviously, what was it, Game 5? In the finals, he cost his team. So when he was suspended for that game because of antics, call it what it is. And I get it. LeBron standing over him and all. Like, I get it. And there's ways to do things, and there's ways not to do things. And Draymond Green does have a heck of a resume at the end of the day, though. I'm not going to sit there and let everybody sit there and act like he's just, a bum, and act like, he don't have 4 rings and he's not a major part, a major integral role of the way Golden State operates. Like, I'm not going to pretend like he's not the quarterback, like he's not only the heart and soul of that team, but he makes that team go. I've seen that team when he's not playing. I've seen what they look like. And Steph is going to be Steph. Nobody's talking about Steph. So in case for all y'all going to be like, oh, but Steph. I'm not talking about Steph. I'm just talking about that offense in particular, everybody. You know what I mean? Like, Draymond's just different. And unfortunately, it's one of those situations where you got to take the good with the bad. And the good is you got 4 rings, out of it. You got 4 rings. But at the same time, Is it getting too much? Is it going too far? Probably so. I think the drag, like, that was it for me. That was more like, just watching it, I was like, ooh, this looks terrible. I mean, when you on the court in the heat of the moment, and I know Clay is like, yeah, like, see, this is what I'm talking about. Like, people can say whatever they want for Dre, but he had my back, you know, because I didn't know what was going on. All I know is I got McDaniels in front of me, and we getting into it, and somebody's, around my back, my neck, shoulders. Like, I didn't know what was going, and I just see Draymond getting in it, like, no hesitation, and I was able to get released, and I mean, I don't know if you've ever been in a situation like that, but when you that heated and so you face to face with somebody's holding you back, like that's wild. Like I said, if you're gonna break up a fight, get in the middle of it. Don't do that. I get it. You want to protect your face and your hair, your nail. I get it. But then you're not the one to, then don't break it up then. Don't break it up. Don't cause somebody to get hit because they're not protecting themselves, because they're too busy getting held back by you. Put it that way. But this in-season tournament is crazy. But anyway, I'm gonna give you time to kind of watch this, and then check out these games, because I believe one of them it's already on. So I hope y'all enjoyed it. Make sure you listen, like, and subscribe. And remember, I only ask y'all to remember one thing: losses equals life lessons.
Gotta be true to yourself. In a world there's nothing else. Gotta play the game right, gotta make your path. You scratch, you dig, you lay on your ground, you bustin' your rounds. Nobody gon' stop you. No ops, no cops, everything about you looking good, you good, she good. Y'all people really wanna know the reason? It's that ripple effect. That's just that ripple. That's just that ripple effect. What you do, come back triple.
Hey, what's going on? It's your girl Kid. I'm back in the Ripple Effect. You didn't know what it is, and you already know the vibe. Shout out to all the subscribers. I appreciate y'all. Always kind of hit y'all up at the top of every show. If you're new to this, you're going to hear it every time. My appreciation. I appreciate y'all. Listen, like, and subscribe. If you're new, keep rolling with me. Like I said,